Welcome to EduRev. Today, we're going to talk about something that you won't find in your anatomy textbooks, but trust me, it's just as critical to your success, mastering the art of working with others. This is really the foundation of a safe and successful medical career, so let's dive right in.
I'm here to guide you beyond the pure textbook knowledge, to focus on the core skills that really make a great and safe doctor. These are the abilities that are going to define you in the clinic, on the wards, and throughout your entire professional life.
So, what's on the agenda? Think of it like this. We're going to cover 4 essential pillars. We'll start with the power of teamwork, then we'll get into what it truly means to be a professional, how to respond when mistakes happen, and they will, and how to ensure seamless care for every single patient. And then we'll wrap it all up with what this means for your exams.
Okay, let's jump right into our first pillar, teamwork. Now, in medicine, this isn't some fluffy, nice-to-have idea. Nope. It is an absolute requirement for patient safety. High-quality healthcare is a team sport, and you are a vital player on that team from day one.
So, why does this matter so much? Well, take a look. When a team is working well, everyone shares the load, right? You've got more eyes on patient safety. Good communication? That just slashes the risk of errors. And all of this builds the essential trust you need to perform under pressure. And the end result? It's simple: better outcomes and safer, happier patients.
So, where do you fit into all this? Well, doctors are delegating and setting the tone, sure, but your role as a student, it's just as crucial. You've got to collaborate, be reliable, and this is the big one, you have to recognize your own limitations and ask for help. Seriously, pretending to know something you don't isn't just a bad look, it's a safety risk. Being honest about what you don't know is your single most important contribution to the team. All right, that brings us to our second pillar, and you'll see how it builds on the first one, behaving like a professional. If teamwork is the skeleton, then professionalism is the heart that pumps life and ethics through the whole system. It's the very core of the trust that patients and your colleagues will place in you.
So, what does professionalism actually mean day to day? It's pretty straightforward. It's about behaving ethically in every single situation. On your placements, in a lecture hall, even just interacting with your peers. This isn't some optional add-on. It is the absolute core of your training. And here's a breakdown of what that looks like in action. We're talking about integrity, honesty, and accountability. It's about treating everyone with respect, being on time, and just not being disruptive. Think of these less as a list of rules and more as the habits that are going to build your reputation as a doctor people can really trust. Now for our third pillar, and let's be real, this can be a tough one, responding to mistakes. Let me just say this up front. Everyone, and I mean everyone, makes mistakes. It happens. It's how you handle them that truly defines you as a professional, and more importantly, protects your patients. So, when an error does happen, here's the playbook. Step 1, acknowledge it, honestly. No excuses, no hiding. Your immediate priority is to be open about it, do whatever you can to minimize harm, and explain what happened. See, the goal here isn't to point fingers or assign blame. It's to learn, to take feedback, and to report it so the whole system can get better. Look, if you take away only one single thing from this section, let it be this. As a student, the absolute first thing you do is tell your supervisor, immediately. Don't wait, don't try to fix it on your own, and never, ever hide or ignore an error. This is the golden rule of patient safety. It's non-negotiable. Okay, let's move on to our fourth and final pillar, ensuring seamless care. Think about it. Patients are often cared for by a whole bunch of different people across different shifts in different departments. Continuity is the safety net that prevents them from falling through the cracks. Think of continuity of care like a chain. Every single link has to be strong. And what are those links? Well, they're things like clear, structured handovers, sharing updates accurately, and being crystal clear about who has responsibility for the patient at any given time. Oh, and documenting everything thoroughly. These actions are what make sure a patient's journey is both smooth and, most of all, safe. And you have a super important role to play here, even as a student. Your job is to communicate accurately with your supervisors. That means listening carefully during handovers, but also speaking up and asking questions if something isn't clear. When you participate in these discussions, you're not just a bystander. You are actively contributing to patient safety. Plus, you're learning a skill that's going to serve you for your entire career. All right, so we've covered our 4 pillars. We've talked about teamwork, professionalism, how to handle mistakes, and continuity of care. Now let's pull all of this together and think about how you're actually going to apply it.
So let's connect the dots to your exams. When you're sitting your situational judgment test, your SJT, the scenarios they throw at you aren't just theoretical puzzles. Nope. They are designed to test these exact principles. So, what's the big takeaway for you? What's the cheat code?
Here it is in a nutshell. Teamwork is all about safety. Professionalism, that's your ethical foundation. Honesty is absolutely critical when things go wrong. And clear handovers, they ensure patients don't get lost in the system. But what's the one thread that connects all of this? It's this. When you're in doubt, when you have a concern, when a mistake happens, your first move is always to involve your supervisors. That is the safest and most professional choice every single time. End of story.
I really hope this has helped you see the bigger picture. To keep this learning going and to test yourself with even more real-world scenarios, go ahead and download the EduRev app. You can find it right there on the Play Store and the iOS App Store. It's packed with more content to help you absolutely nail your medical SJT exams. Thanks so much for joining me.